Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to a Shenmue Dojo video. Today we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Western release of Shenmue. Now I am putting together the US and the PAL releases just for ease here and to save me having to record two videos. Quite frankly, I want to put them both together, given that our audiences are mostly Western based. It made a lot of sense for me to go and do that. So thank you guys for watching this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my thoughts around my memories of Shenmue, playing it for the first time, and just why it is so special. But also, at the end of this video, I'm going to hand over to the Shenmue community, who can do a far better job than me of telling the world why Shenmue meant so much and the memories of playing Shenmue for the first time. And if you're interested, go back to a release I did on the 29th of December 2024, celebrating the Japanese 25th anniversary. I have figures from the games industry, YouTubers and the like talk about their experience with Shenmue for the first time as well, and just the influence that it had. So let's talk about Shenmue itself. Shenmue, obviously Dreamcast game, we're all aware of that. Considered potentially the most influential video game of all time by the BAFTA poll. I am going to slip that in there because we absolutely deserve that. But wind back now, go back to sort of 1999 in the year 2000, and I've been to school, and a good friend of mine runs in and throws the official Dreamcast magazine in my face, says, "You've got to play this game, you've got to play this game, look at this game." And I'm going, what game, what game? Looking at it, and it's obviously Shenmue. And I'm blown away by the still images of the graphics, the areas, the characters, everything. Okay, I've got to play this game. So I asked for it for my birthday, and my birthday falls sort of between Christmas and New Year and all the rest of it. So I asked for that, got it for my birthday, whacked it in the old Dreamcast. That opening cutscene just blew my mind. It was insane. The cinematics, in-engine cinematics, were fantastic. Now, that's not a slur on other games that did something like that. I think of Metal Gear Solid, for example. Those obviously has in-engine, in-game cinematics. But graphically and from a presentation standpoint, Shenmue just stood up leaps and bounds above something like that. And Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation is a fantastic game as well. But this just stood right up here in the presentation, the graphics and the music and everything. That opening cutscene just was insane. So you get through all of that, you're thinking, brilliant, here we go. And then I spent a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, going around the dojo, looking around, opening all the drawers, picking things up, and really enjoying the interactivity there. Got out into Yamanose, Sakura Joker as well, and then I sort of asked a few people a few bits and pieces, and then just stopped. I just stopped. I enjoyed what I was playing, but it didn't quite click. Now, I hear that a lot from people, and that's fine, and I can understand where that comes from a little bit. So I went off, did some other things. I came back a few hours later, and about another hour, 2 hours later, the game just clicked, and I spent the rest of my birthday just playing Shenmue all the way, as much as I could before I go to bed, and I was absolutely hooked from that moment forward. I can't pinpoint the exact moment, but like a penny dropped, the light bulb went on, and it just clicked. So the world just was alive. Talking to every NPC, going into every shop was just insane. Picking up every object was just brilliant. The capsule toys, the nods to Sega were just perfect. The weather, the snow, going through, walking through that crunch of the snow, that was just unbelievable to my now 14-year-old mind. It was just insane. It was like, I've never seen this before. The music, the score there, what a soundtrack. One of the best gaming soundtracks ever, so much so it is in the Classic FM Hall of Fame. That's how good this soundtrack was. It's just mad. The characters, the graphics, the presentation, the fighting, the mini games, the arcade games, it all came together in this one wonderful package that just stuck, and it was just like, oh my god, this was mind-blowing at the time. Yes, I know people say to me nostalgia is a powerful thing. Of course it is. I get that, I understand it. And yes, people will criticise some of the design decisions in Shenmue. I know they will. The lack of a weight function being one of them, and potentially being tied in the forklift job is another. But do you know what? I didn't care. And I tell you why I didn't care. Because I was so immersed in the world, I was so immersed in the environment, in the characters, in the whole thing, that I didn't mind waiting for a few hours to try and find Charlie or whatever. I just went and did something else in the world. I went and got lost in something else that you could do in the game. And that for me speaks volumes of why this thing resonated so much. It was, in my opinion, the first proper AAA trailblazer. This trailblazed so much in video games in terms of like full voice acting across all characters, all NPCs. Brilliant motion capture for the fighting engine. Obviously used the Virtual Fighter engine, but fantastic motion capture there. Awesome cinematics there. A huge story. A musical score crafted specifically for this game. Yes, I know games did do this, but this was all recorded with orchestras live. It was one of the first games to really do this and hone in on this. Games now do this all the time, but Shenmue was among the first and was certainly the trailblazer, the influencer for AAA that we see now. Yes, I know Shenmue 2 did improve on some of those aspects, absolutely, and I get that, and it probably is my favourite game of all time. But, and you can also talk about other industries and members within the industry and go, well, they perfected and changed this formula, this initial AAA formula, and I absolutely accept it. But nothing resonates more than sitting there for that first time, looking back and getting lost in that world, lost in the characters, feeling like you are part of that world, part of Ryo's journey, that you feel every emotion he feels. You feel the emotions of the other characters when Ryo bats them off, especially Nozomi, for example. You feel an affiliation to Tom, who's trying to help you. You feel an affiliation to the homeless guy as well, who teaches you those moves. You feel an affiliation to the characters and their intricacies and their characteristics and their nuances. All of that together, just encompassed in this one big 3-disc, obviously the Passport disc was for 3-disc package, was and still is to me mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Video games these days have come exceptionally close to recreating a world like Shenmue did, but none of them, and again it could be nostalgia speaking for me, have captured it exactly how Shenmue did it and in such a special way. Sega, AM2, Yu Suzuki struck gold with what they did. They trailblazed. Yes, you can look at the finances, you can look at the figures, and you can go, well, ultimately it didn't have the success that it probably deserved in my mind. But that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter here. What matters is what it did, how it made us feel, and how it has inspired so many people within the community to come together. How it has changed literally people's lives. People have moved to Japan. James, Ezra are 2 people there. George and Joe have set up schools in China, for example. You see people go on the pilgrimages to Buita. All of these things encapsulate together, encapsulated within such a tight-knit and passionate community that I'm proud to be part of. Doesn't happen without this game. Now, there are lots of video games out there. There are lots of very powerful video games out there. Lots of excellent video games out there. But I would argue, and again, I might be biased, but I would argue that Shenmue has one of the tightest knit communities out there because of the affiliation and the way that game made us all feel at that time when we all played it. Probably at the same time of year for a lot of us, around Christmas 2000, coming into 2001. A lot of us would have got the game around then who had our Dreamcasts. I know there's some of you obviously came in later, and that's great, but this for a lot of us came in that way, and for the people who've discovered Shenmue later, I'm sure you felt the same way as I certainly did when I played that game for the first time. But I'm going to stop now. I'm going to leave things there. You've heard enough of me bleating on about the 25th anniversary of Shenmue. I'm going to hand over to the Shenmue community who have put some messages together for me. I asked for messages from everybody in the Shenmue community about their experience of Shenmue for the first time, their memories of playing the game for the first time, and just what it means to them. So the last thing I'm going to say is thank you to everybody in the Shenmue community. Thank you to anybody who's ever played this game and enjoyed this game, but also happy 25 years to Shenmue for the Western release, and here is 25 years more. Don't forget, guys, get out there, support Shenmue 3 Enhanced. We want more games, we want Shenmue 4, and ultimately our passion for the series will prevail. But I'm going to hand over to the Shenmue community, guys. I'll see you soon.